My name is Riley, and you are listening to The World's View, Episode 1. Here with me today is Drew. So, Drew, what is your theory on how the world was created?
I believe that one day these people were just like traveling around galaxies, and they found Earth and ended up naming it Earth.
That is a very good theory. My belief is that God came and created the world with a purpose, and then Adam and Eve came and cursed the world by eating the fruit that God specifically told them not to eat. Do you believe in God, Drew?
Yes, I do. I'm technically Christian.
That's a very interesting thought. You do or you don't. It's okay either way. I know a lot of people who are Christians who don't go to church.
That's just like me.
There's a lot of stuff in the Bible that says greet each other with a holy kiss. I know I don't do that one, especially with strangers. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
That is a great response. What do you think about us? Do you think we were made to be humans, or do you think we were made to be his monkeys and then evolution came and turned us into humans?
I think we were made as his monkeys and evolution ended up changing us into what we are today.
That is a very interesting thought. I would disagree with you because God came and created the world, and he created it with a purpose. Like everyone has a purpose in life.
What is your purpose in life?
Well, my purpose in life, I don't exactly know yet, but God will somehow tell anyone in their life sometime. I know he respects everyone and loves everyone, the same as to anyone who is listening to this podcast. This will be your little spark of joy every day. As long as you listen and obey him and fear him, it should be okay.
What do you mean fear him? Should we be scared of him?
What I mean by fear him is basically loving, showing affection, and doing what you're told by obeying the 10 Commandments.
What are the 10 Commandments?
The 10 Commandments are, you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make yourself an idol. You shall not misuse the name Lord your God. You shall remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. You shall honor thy father and mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false temptations. And you shall not covet.
That is a lot to remember.
Yes, that is quite a lot to remember, but in the Bible it does say the most important commandments aren't even in the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments are love thy neighbor as yourself and love thy enemy.
What if I don't want to follow all of these rules?
Well, if you don't follow all these rules, or at least ask a God for forgiveness, he will definitely not give you forgiveness, because if you don't pray and listen to him, because his voice is very soft, and sometimes if you listen, you can't really hear because you're so focused on what's happening in the world. He won't, when you're being judged after you die and go to heaven, he will say, get away from me, I never even knew you. But when you show affection to him and love him and fear him, he will say, come here, my child, I claim you as my own. Drew, do you know what the first book of the Bible is?
No, I do not.
It is Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth on the first day. He created the oceans and the rivers on the second. The third day, he made the dry land. On the fourth day, God created the birds of the sky and the water animals. On the fifth day, God created the land animals. On the sixth day, God created Adam and Eve. On the seventh day, God rested. After God rested from the 7 days, God stood up and looked at his work. He said, wow, that is amazing. And then, after Adam and Eve had eaten the fruit, like I had previously said, the earth was flooded about 4,500 years ago. They were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. They had to live on their own, and God killed animals so that they could have clothes. And it was just a horrible time for them because they lived in such a perfect place. It was beautiful. Everything was growing, and all they had to do was take care of it, and they ruined it for them because the temptation. And that is why one of the 10 Commandments is do not be tempted. If you are wondering, the temptation was from a snake who had the devil's heart in him, and he was telling Eve that God knows that you will become like him and know everything in humanity if you eat this fruit. So Eve ate it, and then she gave it to her husband, Adam. And then Adam said to God, it was this woman you gave me. But God was incapable of making sin. It was the humans who made it, and the snake. So nowadays, that is why snakes burrow underground, because God had cursed them and told them, "You shall lay on your belly and eat dust for the rest of your life." And that is why snakes are quote unquote evil right now. And about 4,500 years ago, Noah had sons. Noah created the ark, and God told him that he was going to flood the earth by raining. And it had never rained back then. Mildew would just come up from the ground. So Noah was very confused, and he got straight to building. Even though other people had mocked him, he just kept building because he knew God was true, and he was telling him the truth. And so he grabbed his sons, he grabbed his son's son, and he grabbed his son's wife and his wife, and 2 of each animal, a female and a male. And he just got on the boat, and one day he let a dove out, and the dove came back because there was no dry land yet. The next day he let it out, and it came back with a olive branch in its mouth. So Noah knew that the rain was going away, and that is also why the moon has those marks in it, because the water from that flood splashed so high and so strong that it busted holes in the moon. We actually have footage that a drone went up into space and it looked at the backside of the moon. The backside is completely smooth, basically. And it's just wonderful, and it's just amazing how stuff in the Bible can tie in with stuff in real life. And it's just so confusing to some people, and it's so amazing to others. And then after the flood went down, all the animals went back to their natural habitats, and God told Noah and his sons to be fruitful and multiply, which means have lots of kids so the earth can be repopulated. So technically, everyone on earth right now is related in some way. We're related by Noah. We're related by Adam and Eve. We're related by all of them. And those who don't understand God and don't see his ways, it's just so confusing to me how they don't see it, how this amazing stuff just doesn't happen in their way, in their eyes. They just need to open them. In the Bible, it says, the God of this world, which is the devil, because the devil has taken it over with the sin, which ties in with the snake, has blinded the eyes of the unbelieving, which means those who don't believe in God are blinded. They do not see what we see as Christians, as Catholics. And it's just amazing how wonderful it is when you do see it. It's amazing. And then you can see, the waters, they used to be not as high, and you can see dinosaur footprints next to human footprints. Everyone thinks that an volcano or an asteroid came and destroyed all the dinosaurs. It's not really that. The flood killed most of them, and then those who lived before the flood were killed by humans, and then the rest of them, because they still lived, they were killed by humans, and then the rest of them were killed by the flood. But I believe there are still some out there, because we have explored more of Mars than the surface of the ocean, and it's just amazing how much we could explore. And just there could be dinosaurs still living. If you've ever thought about that, that is awesome. Well, I can't believe that. Well, I will see you in episode 2. Come back soon.